Testing.
Testing. Yes, I'm testing. Yep, it looks like the little things are going, so I hope that it's working. Hi, everybody. We're hoping that the microphone works. We'll see. If you can hear me, let me know. It looks like it is, because it looks like there's some action going on by my microphone, but it's always hard to tell when I'm on this end.
This is a real B&H birthday story.
Oh. It's always an ad. Believe me, we have no control over that. Hi, Abby. Pat. Pat Abney. Sorry, I thought it said Abby. Hi, Pat. Glad you can hear me. Hi, Roberta. Glad you can hear me too. All right. We'll just wait for some people to get on here. We've got a little bit of a group here, but we've got such a fun activity for tonight. I'm so excited to share this with you. I'll tell you the story behind it. I'll tell you where it came from and how we came up with it. And then I hope you will join in. It's just a really, really fun project. And I'm really excited about it. So anyway, hi, Trish. Hi, Ruby and Susan. Mila, Judy. Hi, Dragon Lady. Sharon, Judy, Barbara. Welcome, everybody. Oh, we've had such a busy day today because this was our first week of Scrap Busters, our Zoom sessions. We have weekly Zoom sessions for the next 5 weeks. And so I've been talking. So hopefully my voice will hold up and all will be well, but I am just dying to show this to you. So I'm hoping that that we can get everything done, and I've got all my stuff here ready to go. So we'll see. Welcome, everybody. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm happy that you are joining me for Night Owl Quilting. It seems like as Alex and I try and come up with, when we put things in the newsletter, I tend to get my days mixed up sometimes. Just because we have the 2nd and the 4th and the 1st and the 3rd, and I'm always messing it up. So I appreciate when those of you bring that up to me, but be sure and take a look. Alex always sends out an email the day of Night Owl Quilting, the day of daytime quilting in the morning before, and then a reminder right before. So hopefully one way or another, everybody's gonna get here and you'll be able to see. If not, you can always watch the replay. I mean, the replay is there for everybody, and you are welcome to do that. You just can't enjoy the fun of the chat, and I always think the chat is really fun too. So anyway, happy Valentine's Day a couple of days early. You can see I've got my quilt here with my hearts, and we're going to talk a little bit about that sort of thing. We have February is kind of a special month. Terry and I always celebrate our anniversary of our first date. So we celebrated that this month, earlier in the month. And now we've got Valentine's Day coming up, and I've got a great project for you that's quick and easy. And I think it's just really a lot of fun. So first of all, that's kind of my merry moment. And I'm going to tell you about that first, how I came up with this, how this idea happened. I was trying to think of something for Night Owl Quilting. And usually what happens is I don't come up with the idea until right before. It's just the way it is. I try and think of it ahead of time. Sometimes I have it a few days ahead of time. More times than not, it's like a day or two ahead of time. And then Alex has to scramble to get everything ready. Well, I was trying to get this one done a little bit early because I wanted something special for Valentine's Day. You can only make so many pot holders. You can only make so many mug rugs. And, then everybody's pot holdered and mug rugged out. And the whole purpose of Night Owl Quilting actually was supposed to be a time that we can just, sew together and share. But I always would find something I wanted to share with you. And then I thought, oh, they're going to want to make this. And then I'm going to need a PDF. And so it kind of escalated into that. And this was the same issue. So what happened was I was looking for something that was not necessarily couples Valentine related, but rather just something that kindness and sharing and just what we experience as joyful and merry quilters. It seems like we all have such a great relationship here. The members of our guild, those who attend our classes, our Zoom sessions, our YouTube lives, it's just a different group. It's a caring group that we share our ups and downs, and we come from all sorts of backgrounds. I mean, we don't talk about that because our whole purpose is to talk about quilting. And so I thought, I need something that will be something that everybody can enjoy, that everybody will be able to share with other people, and maybe their friends, their family, strangers, whatever. So I was looking and I came across an idea, and I thought, oh, I'm going to share this idea with everybody. This is a great thing. It wasn't my idea, but I'm going to share it with everybody. So I went and I started looking into it. And as I was looking at it, the creators of this particular idea were adamant that this could not be shared on social media, that it was not to be something that people talked about doing, but rather that it needed to be shared organically by the recipients. So that was, I can't even mention it. So that was the whole purpose of this particular activity, was that it was not something that I could say to you, hey, here's a really great organization, go support them. But instead, if I was a recipient of the kindness that happened through this organization, then I was allowed to post on social media, hey, guess what I got? And talk about it that way and spread the word that way. Well, I didn't ever get any of that particular kindness, so I couldn't share it, and I didn't want to ruin their whole purpose. But they said over and over and over again on their website, if you have an idea and you don't want to follow all of our rules, and I'm not kidding, the rules were like that long, you don't have to create your own idea. That's also part of it. So I thought, yeah, that's what I'll do. I'm going to create my own idea. So now I'm thinking, what in the world can I do that will be something that I feel like will be a benefit to other people and spread kindness? So then I was thinking about it, and I'm going to do the camera down position so I can show. Well, I guess I could probably show it front up. Yeah. Okay. I won't do it yet. I came up with this idea that's called pockets of kindness. Okay. So that's where it came from. Actually, I started out with pockets of joy, but then I thought it was too much like our joy patch. This is our little joy patch that we have. It's got a little joy gem inside of it, and you give it to people. It's a pattern on our website, joyfulandmerryquilting.com. And you give it to somebody, and it's got this little gem inside of it that what you do is you give it to a friend or someone that's in need. This one says friendship. This one's just like a little Valentine heart. This one's another one. And then it's real easy to make. You give it to them, and then they put it in their pocket. And then when they feel of it and they feel the little gem inside of it, then they think of you. They think of that gift, or they think of something special that brings them joy and kind of might take them out of the dumps or whatever, if they're having a difficult day or time and they feel this, and then the whole purpose is to ignite a joyful memory. So that's our joy patch. I thought, well, pockets of joy is too close. So then I came up with pockets of kindness. So here's the pocket of kindness, and I'm going to show you. You're going to be so excited. Now there is, like I say, there's a pattern, and it's joyfulandmerryquilting.com/pocket. So it's easy. It's a great pattern. Here it is. It's got pictures and templates and everything in here for you to create this. But I'm going to do it here, and then you can go back and watch this and do it with. The pattern is free. The download is absolutely free. We do have a little section on there, an option if you want to add a dollar amount to the pattern. You do not have to. We are not asking you to do that, but we have had people off and on say to us, what can I do to give more? And we would love to have that. It helps us further our mission and helps us to be able to do what we can do. And so people will add $1 or $2 or $5 or whatever they want to the pattern, only if they want. If you don't want to, the pattern is absolutely free, always will be. So anyway, okay, so that's that. joyfulandmerryquilting.com/pocket. And Alex usually will put the link in the chat. And when you click on the link, it takes you right there, and you can do that. You do have to fill in on the page, 0 if you want it for free, or then a dollar amount if you want. So you need to do that. Again, we are totally happy with whatever you want to do. This is our gift to you, but we appreciate it if you'd like to offer more. Okay, so here's the pocket. Now, isn't that cute? This is a little pocket here. And when you open up the pocket, it has a card inside, okay? And here's the card. And this one says, this pocket holds a little love and a lot of hope just for you. And then it's pocket of kindness. And in the pattern, you'll get a whole page of quotes. Either you can cut these up and put them in, print them on cardstock, or there's a whole page of blank ones. So you can write your own handwritten message as well in the same little card. And then it fits perfectly. It's a 2x4 and it fits perfectly in the pocket. But here's the fun part. It says at the bottom, unfold the love. Open the envelope completely to reveal the heart inside. So here's the envelope, and you're going to open it, and look at this. Isn't that cute? That's the pocket. This is the pocket of kindness. So it goes together like this. It folds up, and then there's a little tiny piece of Velcro on there. And it holds it down, and that's it. So I'm going to show you how to make it. You want to make sure that you put this. Now, I've been talking a lot today. Here's the whole thing that goes on with this. What you can do with this is you can either give it to somebody that you know, as a little Valentine gift, or you can give it to somebody you don't know, maybe somebody that works at the grocery store. Maybe you give it to, just hand them out. They're so easy to make. Or you can give them to somebody that, a service worker, or you can leave it somewhere and have somebody just find it. You'll never know, which is fine. Who cares? If you're able to give someone a pick-me-up, maybe you're going through the drive-up and you give somebody a little packet, hand it to them when they give you your food. You can always put something in there too, a tip if you want, but whatever you want to do. But this is a pocket of kindness. And the whole point of this isn't money. The point is to give them the little card. So like some of the cards say, thank you for being a light in my life and in the lives of so many others. Oh, thanks. Your friendship is a treasure more valuable than gold. Friends are the family we choose for ourselves. You are a light in this world. Never forget how much you brighten it. You are proof that the best things in life are felt with the heart. In case no one has told you today, you are loved, you are valued, and you matter. Or you are loved for the amazing person you are and for the kindness you bring to this world. So I'm saying that to all of you. Can you imagine if you got something like that from somebody just handed that to you either anonymously or to a friend, a little Valentine. It doesn't even have to be just on Valentine's Day. You can do this anytime. Now, I use the Riley Blake fabric. This was their Valentine fabric. It's Sweetheart. It was called Sweetheart Collection. And so it has all kinds of really cute, this has little hearts on it. This has hearts on the inside. And I'm going to show you how to make the little pouch so that you can create that. But just look, I want to show you up close. This is the heart. And all it is, we use 2 pieces of fabric plus some fusible interfacing, and then some little tiny dots, those little Velcro dots. And I'll show you how to glue those on. I don't want to sew anything when it comes to those dots because I don't like the way it shows, because you need to have them here to hold this part of the envelope closed. And then you need to have it here to hold the flap down. You don't have to, you can give it to somebody like this. It looks cute this way too. But if you want it to be closed, you can close it like that. So that's where I like it, but I didn't like it's showing here. So I used the sticky Velcros and some fabric glue, some Gorilla Glue, and that worked really well holding it down. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And I have most of it sewn. So I'll just, I'll walk you through that. And then the end is kind of the part that we'll do. So Terry's going to switch the camera around so y'all can see. Oh, so thirsty. Got all my supplies over here. So first of all, if you get the pattern and you read about it, it talks about an introduction to the project. I wanted this to be something that everybody could actually do as a group, that we could all do this, that we could share then what our results are. Or maybe if you get one, you can tell us too. But if you can show what you've made, and then, I made these, I gave them to I left them somewhere or whatever, or I gave it to someone, they were really excited. It just, those of us were kind of, in the circle, we can share what we've done. And I think that will be so inspirational to be able to share that information. So again, Pockets of Kindness Initiative. If you go through and you read about it, I just talk about it. It was inspired by the idea of sharing an uplifting message with a friend, a stranger, or anyone who could use a little kindness. What could be better than a handmade fabric heart from a quilter? So these hearts fold into small pockets, holding handwritten notes, maybe a gift card, a joy patch. The joy patch will actually fit in here if you want to do that. I love these joy patches. And then you can tell whoever gets it what the joy patch is all about. So they've got a constant reminder. We want to remind people that we just need to let people know that they are loved, that they're appreciated, especially on days like Valentine's Day, when really everybody could use a little bit more love. Everybody could be shown that they're appreciated, no matter what our relationship is with them. We want to let them know that they have a place in our hearts. So whether you gift it personally, you leave it anonymously, they are a little symbol, but I said a tiny but mighty symbol of kindness. So what's our goal? The goal of the Pockets of Kindness Initiative is to create the hearts that transform into the pockets, fill it with notes or tiny gifts of kindness and encouragement, and give to anyone we wish to acknowledge, appreciate, or comfort, from friends and family to service workers, strangers, or those who just need a little bit of joy. And you know how much joy that brings us as the giver. I mean, it's incomparable. Whether the pockets are gifted directly or left in a special place for someone to find, this initiative is about spreading love in its simplest and most meaningful form. So each pocket begins, we're going to make the heart first. And then it's super easy to fold up. The heart makes just the perfect little thing. I saw an origami. It was an origami site where they took paper and they folded it. I thought, well, I can do that with fabric and we could make it into a pocket. So that's kind of where that came from. And then there's ideas on what to include. And then it says, don't forget to share. So there's a special hashtag called #PocketsOfKindness that if you want to share any pictures, we're hoping that will get people then to go ahead and participate, to spread the joy and spread the love. So you can post photos of your finished pockets, share personal stories of how making or finding a pocket of kindness has brought joy to your life, and then encourage recipients to share their stories of how the pocket brightened their day. So that's what it's all about. That's all with the pattern. So here's the pattern. It's full of pictures, but I think watching me do it as well will be helpful. So first we start out with the materials needed. Okay, so what we need first is we need 2 pieces of fabric. And I put down that you needed them to be the size of a piece of paper, 8.5 by 11. But then I got to thinking, it doesn't really have to be. It can be a 10-inch square, actually. The heart will fit in a layer cake square. So this, I liked it because it just had more room, and I was able to put my pieces down. But, if you don't have that big of a piece, a little smaller will work. Okay. And then you need, so the 2 pieces of fabric that are coordinating, and then you'll need a piece of interfacing. This is fusible interfacing, not webbing. This is fusible interfacing. And it has a bumpy side. That's where the glue is. And then it has the smooth side. Now, this one's by Pellon. And in the pattern, I actually tell you I show a picture of what kind it is. You can see that I bought it on the roll, but Heat and Bond makes it. There's all kinds of fusible interfacings. So this one is the stretch one by Pellon. And what you're going to do is you're going to take and fuse this interfacing to one of the pieces. Now I chose this one, and I've already done that. The interfacing is cut just a teeny bit smaller. These pieces I cut at 8 by 10 and same size, 8 by 11, same size as a sheet of notebook paper of copy paper. And this is actually 7 3/4, or no, 8. Let's see, what did I say on here? 8 1/4 by 10 3/4. It's just a tad smaller because you don't want this bumpy edge off on your ironing board and getting glue on your ironing board. So you're going to cut it just a teeny bit smaller. So that's what I did. I did fuse it to this one, and it's all ready to go. I trimmed it down, and we have these 2 pieces. Now, if you follow along in the pattern, that is figure 2. You can see that the interfacing is just a little bit smaller, but if it's right, it doesn't matter. I mean, as long as you're not going off the edge and gluing it to your ironing board, you're good to go. Follow the instructions on your fusible webbing on how to fuse it. Mine, I think it took 15 seconds. You held your iron and then you moved it. Don't slide it, just pick it up and move it until it was all fused. Now on page 7, there's the heart template. So you can either just use this as is on your paper, or I printed mine on cardstock just because I needed to be able to have a little bit of a lip, a little bit of an edge. So that's what I did. You can see that when I traced around it, I messed up a little bit, but it's okay. So here's the heart. Now what we're going to do is we're going to place these two pieces right sides together with the fusible side on top. Now, this is the soft side because we've already fused the bumpy side to the back side of our fabric. We're fusing to the wrong side of this one of the fabrics. This one's by itself. So we've got these here. I am going to take my heart and I'm going to center it. As you can see, we've got extra. You need to have a seam allowance. So we've got just enough of a seam allowance around the edge here. And then I took one of these Mark Begons. This side is the disappearing ink and this side is the water soluble. It doesn't really matter because this is not going to show we're on the wrong side. But you want to make sure if you're going to use some kind of a marking tool, a pencil you can use, whatever, you don't want something that's going to bleed through and show on the other side. So this will be our sewing line. That's what we're using on here. So you can either, I'm using this so you can see it, but a pencil works just as well. So what we're going to do is go around the edge and I'm going to trace this heart template. Oops, see. Okay, so it's all traced. And then, if you do this on cardstock, you can use it over and over and over again. Another thing I'm going to show you is if you're a little worried, if you're using paper and you're a little, or cardstock, and you're a little worried about it slipping or moving, there's actually a product. Could you hand me that blue thing? Yeah, thank you. There's a product and it's called Scotch Repositionable Glue Stick. And what it does is it turns your paper into a Post-it note. So what you do is you open it up, and it only puts the adhesive on the paper. It does not transfer to your fabric. So it still can be used over and over again 4 or 5 times before you have to reapply, and it never gets on your fabric. So it's not like glue where it sticks there and then you pull it off. So you just do this, and you can put this on here and then draw around it, and it actually stays in place, which I love. Scotch Repositional Glue Stick. It's on Amazon, 3 of them for $11 or something, I don't know. And so then I draw, and I don't worry about it slipping. When I remove it, it's still sticky right there, like a Post-it note. That's what it feels like, but there is nothing on my fabric. So I really like that. It keeps everything from slipping and moving out of place. Now that I've got this, I'm going to put just 3 pins in here, way in. I don't want them to be anywhere close to my stitching line. And then what I'm going to do, and I show that in figure 5, is you want to have a place where you're going to turn about 2 inches or so. So I'm going to mark that on here, and I actually will mark my seam allowance right there just so that I remember not to cut that off. What I'm going to do is I am going to sew starting here, do a little back stitch, sew here, sew all the way around here, all the way around here, and back stitch right there, because that's my opening. That's where I am going to turn it when I'm done. So go ahead and you'll sew that around the edge, which I've already done. So that's here. And this has already been, you can't really see it, but it's already sewn around the edge. Now, what I'm going to do, if you turn on to number 5, figure 6, you're going to need to cut the heart out. And one of the things that's really difficult with curves is that they kind of get that look to it. They don't get the rounded look to it because, we're folding it right side out. But there's 2 ways you can avoid that look. And that is either using a pinking blade or pinking shears. Right here. Pinking shears, we've got those, or a pinking blade. This is just a blade that's like pinking shears. And I love both of them. Or if you don't have either one of those, you can just cut a 1/8 inch seam allowance all the way around the edge, except for right here. You want to make that bigger. So you'll go 1/8 of an inch around the edge, or you would be amazed at how much control you have just using a rotary cutter without using any kind of a ruler. So I've got these all sewn together. And what I'm going to do is, you got to be careful. You don't want to go into the stitching line. But if I'm using this, I'm just going to go around the edge. And I just want to be careful. And I want to make sure, do you see? I've got that nice pinked edge. Now, maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I'm pinking shears. You can do the same thing. You want to cut fairly close to the edge because, that's what's going to give you that smooth look. And you can do the same thing going around the edge this way. Now, as you're cutting, this is the tricky part, right when you get to that V right there, because that's where it's really hard to turn that right side out. So what I do when I get to that point, I just kind of skip that for now. And then I'm going to go back, and I'm just using both so you can see. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to keep going around. And I just moved my piece and my cutter just rolls right with it. But I'm using my left hand to move that piece. And here we go. Is there a pair of scissors? The little tiny one sitting on the side of my machine. On the side of my machine. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, I've got some sitting right here and I didn't even realize it. Oh, these are better ones. Okay, so when we get to this point right here, and let's say we've cut all that out, we're going to trim that out. And we want to get down as close to that point without cutting into the stitching line as we can. So I'm going to do, I've got these scissors are really good. These are OmniGrid 4-inch scissors. They have the best little tip. I got them on Amazon. They're not expensive, but they cut all the way down to the point. So what I've done is I've just now I'm going to trim it this way and this way. I really want it close to the stitching line without cutting through it. So you just want to be really careful, but that's what's going to give you that nice point down there. Your iron will help with that too. So I've done that. And then down at this end, we're as we go all the way around, we'll keep going. Now I would do that at the end. I'd cut all this out first. But as we go all the way around, and then we're going to go back up this direction. Now, when I get to that opening, this is where I'm going to just do a little bit of a cut. It doesn't matter because that's going to tuck inside, but I just want to make sure I've got enough fabric there to tuck inside. And then I'm going to finish going around the edge. Okay. If you don't have the pinking shears, like I said, you can just go ahead and cut 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Just be careful. Now, you want this bottom tip to look nice because that's going to be the point that's going to fold over on your little pouch. So it's going to show. So we want to have a nice tip on that. So we're going to cut this as close as we can to that point. And you're just going to do a V. So we've got that V cut right there, even a little bit more. It doesn't matter. We cut as much as we can safely. And then we are ready. I should have taken these pins out. we are ready to turn this right side out. So this is the worst part. I never like turning anything right side out, but we're going to go ahead and put our finger in there, grab it, and we're going to pull it through the hole. And I always feel like, I've just made it a wrinkled up mess, but that's what we have an iron for. I'm going to make sure my iron's heated up. And we're going to pull this out. Super easy, I mean, it's like this is a fun little project. The heart is big enough that you don't have to worry about, the little tiny hearts. It's just, sometimes little tiny is harder than large. Just trying to get everything turned in right side out. Okay, so now we've got it sort of turned right side out, but we want to make sure all those edges are nice. So that's where you can take your finger and just go along the edges first of all to make sure that everything is poked out. Okay, so I'm just like the top curves they want to stay inside. So once we've done that with our finger, it's still not good. Then you can take, like, I have this little tool. This is just it's just used for like nail polish. You put dots on your fingernail polish. I don't do that. But they're very inexpensive, like 6 of them you get on Amazon. They're just little nail decorators. And you just go along the edge like this and push out those seams, because that's where they want to kind of buckle in when you're doing that. And you want to make sure that there's no fold there on the seams. So when you get down to the point, don't poke too hard because you don't want to poke it through. But you can look at how nice that point is. So we've got that all the way around. You have to decide which side you want on the outside, which you want on the inside. I think I want the red hearts on the outside on this one. Unless I do it wrong, and then the pink will be on the outside. But so here we have this nice and neat. Now right here, this looks a little wrinkled up, but it won't be. That's where you can use your pressing marker, or you can use some pressing solution and just smooth that out. It will smooth out. Same thing down with your point. You're going to press this down, and in the process, you want to make sure that you tuck in. That's why you left a little extra here, because you want enough to tuck in here. If you only had 1/8 of an inch, it would not tuck in nicely. So we're going to just do this. We're going to tuck that in and then take a look at it. Don't just leave it. Now that looks pretty good for my first try. So I'm going to put a little pin in it there. And we want to keep the curves. Sometimes it can kind of poke out there. If it does, you can take your stiletto and you can kind of poke it around a little bit just to pull that seam out as best as you can. I think it looks pretty good. So now I'm going to take my iron and I'm going to press it. Oops. I'm going to press it down. And you don't want it to have any tucks or folds or anything like that. It looks really nice once you get it all pressed down, especially right there. And I'll show you that in a second. Now right here, I need to pull it out a little bit. You can see, look at how nice that's looking. Then what I'm going to do at that point right here, I'm going to put a little pressing solution on it. Oh, geez, too much. Golly. Okay, a little pressing solution. You don't want to scorch it. So this one poked through, but it's okay. Just be careful. And then you're going to press it till that's dry. It's going to take me a little longer because I let it sink in there. But as you can see, look at it, it just flattens out so nice. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my, this is Mary Ellen's Best Press. Mary Ellen's. And I just spray it. Did you know you can get Mary Ellen's Best Press at Menards for like nothing? It's really super reasonably priced there. My husband found it for me. It was on sale and got me a couple of bottles. So anyway, if you're looking for it, who knew? But you can get them at a really great price, cheaper than what you could buy on Amazon or whatever. Okay, now this is in there, so I'm going to take that pin out. That's going to be caught in the top stitching. So when I go around and look at how nice that looks. That is just so perfect. So I've already done that. I've already top stitched, so I didn't have to top stitch here. But this is, what I did then is I just top stitched a little less than 1/4 of an inch around, because I want to make sure that I caught that area in there that that where the opening was, where I turned it. Okay, so now we need to really look at the directions, because this is what shows us exactly what we're going to do to fold it up and to get that cute little pocket. So we got the heart. Here's the heart. Now I'm going to put this on the outside, so I'm going to do it this way for this one. Now the first thing I did was I lined up my dip of my heart and my point of my heart on a line on my cutting mat. The reason is because you are going to fold your heart 2 inches from that point right there in the center. You're going to fold. So 2 inches goes here all the way down to here. If you want to mark it, you can mark it. You don't have to. I didn't. You can mark it with a pin if you want, if you don't want to have a marking on there. And just a little tiny pin. And then 1 2 inches over, a little tiny pin there. And then I can see right here. And again, you don't have to, because what you're going to do is you're going to do this on your pressing mat and fold it over. Then you're going to need your clips. Now, I don't know if you have seen these clips. I just got them. I got them by accident. I didn't realize I'd gotten this. They're called mini Wonder clips, and they came 50 in a box. But look at these. Now, you know what the regular Wonder clips look like. They just are like this. They have, they're just a little clip this wide. They look like they're, I don't know, about a 1/2 inch wide. Well, look at these mini ones. These are just teeny. They're like 1/4 of an inch wide. You can use them on the corner of binding where they tend to get in each other's way. Instead, you can use these, and they're tapered down to a point so that I just love them. I'm so happy I got them. But anyway, that's what I used for this. So the first thing we're going to do, we are going to fold on that 2 inch marking. Like I say, you don't really need those pins, but just I wanted you to see. We're going to fold here, and we are going to press. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a clip in here just to hold it for now. So there's one. Don't move it. We want to make sure that these are even. And then we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to line that 2 inches from the center. Now it goes down a little bit. It's okay. These don't need to match up. And then I'm going to put my little clips on here. Okay, so now what we need to do is we're going to sew a line right across here. That's going to be our fold line when we fold this down. It just helps to have that line sewn on there. So I'm not going to do that here because I'm not going to sew today. But what I did was I took a piece of painter's tape. Painter's tape is wonderful. And I actually just used it to mark my line. You can mark your line with a pencil, an erasable marker, whatever you want. It doesn't matter. But what I did was we've got everything lined up. These are lined up. Oops. We're going to put that tape across, trim that off, and then we're going to sew right there on that line and then remove that tape. That's going to be our line. You don't have to do any measuring. You just want to make sure that everything is still lined up right. Then we know that's going to be straight. So you'll go ahead and sew that line right across there. Once that is sewn, then we want to make sure that this is all pressed nicely. We are going to add our fasteners. So here's the line. It's the yellow line in figure 10. I've lined everything up. You can open it up. In this one, I opened it up in order to sew it. It's a little easier to put it under the sewing machine when you don't have these folds here. When you have the tape, you're good to go. You can then refold it. Okay, so turn the page. Now this shows we've got the pattern this way, the pocket this way, and there are some yellow dots on here. I didn't buy them, I had them. These Velcro circles or dots or coins, or they call them all sorts of things. This one's by Velcro, but I was over at Hobby Lobby. They didn't have the Velcro. They had just these, the stick-on coins, the same size. These are either a 3/8 of an inch or a 0.38 inches. Either one, they're just little, and you want them to be little. You don't want them to be big. I like the Velcro one because they were a little more see-through than this one is. But you don't need anything super durable on this. You just want to hold your pocket together. And you're not going to be washing it, although from what I'm going to show you, it says it does survive being in the wash. So that's okay. But you want to make sure that you have the fasteners positioned on the pocket. One here, one here, one here, one here. Now, you know, the Velcro or fasteners or whatever you call them, hook and loop. You want I think it's the hook part, the flatter part, not the fuzzy part, on this side, and then you'll put the other fuzzy part on top of it when you position it. Okay, so you only need 2 and 1. Okay, we'll need 2 and 1, but we're only going to do these 2 first. So what I did was I've got my little Velcros. And you get a million of them in these. I mean, they give you a ton for hardly nothing. This is the fuzzier one. So that's the one that we're going to put on top. This one is the one that's not fuzzy. That's going to go on the bottom. So we're going to looking at our pattern. We want where the point is. We want one here and one here. And we want to position them in a spot where the whole disc is going to be on the fabric. So one there. And one here. But there's always a but. Those are not going to hold because they're not made to stick to fabric. They're made to stick to paper and all kinds of stuff. So what I did was I checked to see what was a good way to make sure they stay. And fabric glue is the way to do it. So I bought me $7.99. I bought, this will last a lifetime. I bought me the Gorilla fabric glue. So what you'll do, and I can't show you this here because it has to sit for 24 hours. But what you're going to, I can't show you the finished product, but what you're going to do is just take a teeny bit, and it comes out kind of fast, so be careful. You're going to put a little bit on the back, on the sticky side, and then put that down. Okay, so now it's going to be really glued on there. Same thing on this one. Oop, see, it comes out really fast. On the sticky side and glue that down. Okay. Then we've got those 2 on there. We're going to take the fuzzy ones and we're going to put those just right on top of that because we want to make sure that these are going to match up here. And if you just put them on here and then try and match them up, it doesn't work. So make sure that the fuzzy side is stuck to the hook part of the Velcro coin or whatever they're called. Okay, so now I have those there. I've got a little bit of glue coming off. I'm going to get that off of there. Okay, so actually, if you used a pin and put it on there, it would probably be a little bit better. So these are on there. They're doing good. But now what I want to do is I want to bring this up to create our pocket. I've already pressed this. I haven't, but let's say I have. And this will actually position themselves. So I'm going to take this out and I am going to press it right now. And you can use we use pressing solution, but you can use more on there if you want. Don't iron over the Velcro discs. You just want to iron. And you can do that later if you want, once it's finished. But right now we're just going to do it this way. Okay, so we've got those on there. We're going to do the same thing again. We're going to put a little dab of glue. Again, if I had a toothpick or something, that would probably be better, but I don't. So I'm just going to do that. in that. You know, Gorilla Glue is amazing anyway, and Gorilla Fabric Glue, wow, never heard of it. Then we're going to take this, make sure that you don't have any creases in there, and you're going to fold this so that those top, if you have that line sewn there, you're going to go right to the line, or under the line, not to the line, but under the line. And there we have this pressed down. Now, you need a clip. You need to put your clip there, and this has got to sit there for 24 hours. Okay, and that's what's going to hold it. So I want to make sure my clip is where it needs to go. In fact, maybe the other Wonder clips might be a little bit better, just because they've got a little bit wider area on them. So I've got those. You can use these big ones, you know, whatever you want. You got another one? Oh, not that one. Yeah, this one will work. Okay, so now we've got this. Look at how cute that is. That looks so cute. And our little card is going to fit right in there when we're ready. Now, the last piece that you need to put on, you need another Velcro piece here that's going to hold this down. I can't show you that right now because I've got the clips on here and it's not going to work. But that's what you're going to do for the last step. So I'll show you on this one. This goes up here. As you can see, you want to make sure your line is up far enough, and you've got maybe 1/4 of an inch before the line because you need fold over. So you want to have that right just above it. You don't want to have it right here or below it. It's not going to work, and you're not going to cover up that divot right there. So when we do fold it over, I did the same thing here. I used the Gorilla Glue. I put this one first. I put the fuzzy one then on top of it. And then I folded it down. I put the glue on it and I folded it down. I used a big old clip. I used this clip for it because I needed a clip that was going to go all the way down on it to hold it down. You could set a book on it, you know, whatever. You got something heavy, a brick, put it on top of it. And there you have it. There you have your little pocket of kindness. And this, like I say, it's not essential that this keeps it super secure. You just want it to keep it from popping open. The same thing with this, so that when they do open it, then they see the heart. They've got the heart, and you can put, you know, anything in here. You can use a fabric that you've fussy cut, and you've got a cute little picture or bouquet of flowers or whatever you want to do with this. You can be really creative with it. But in the end, it just folds right back together, and you've got that cute little pouch. Now, these, like I say, these are they are very inexpensive, and you can buy them online, or you know, you can buy these are the name brand Velcro. I had a little trouble finding them. They're called thin clear fasteners. So you just, you know, they're just, everything's got its own name. And then these, you know, you'll find them at the hardware store, any place like that too, or Lowe's or Menards or whatever. These are called stick-on coins. So if you can't find them as Velcro thin clear fasteners, look for coins. They do make them larger. If you can't find the little tiny ones, you can get the larger one and you can cut it in half and use a half of one. You can also use your long strips of Velcro and cut those in thin pieces and use those just to run along the side. So you can actually have a rectangle on this side if you'd prefer to do it that way. But what I would not do is sew it down if it's got an adhesive backing, because that is a mess. That will gum up your needle in no time, and you're going to have a really difficult time cleaning that or sewing with it. It just doesn't let you sew because the needle is all gummed up and your thread gets all wrapped up in it. So I really think, you know, for this project, you don't need to sew anything down. All you need to do is have it glued well. And that's where the Gorilla Craft glue for fabric works really. I'm sure there's other glues too that'll work well. This one's just notorious for being really strong. So that's why I got it. But anyway, I think we can turn our. Whoops. Wasn't that fun? That's so simple. And I'm so excited to give these out. Look at that. That's just the cutest little thing. Just the cutest little pouch. And again, this one's going to be really cute too once it's done. It's just not done yet. But we've got, the patterns available. Go to joyfulandmerryquilting.com/pocket. It's free. Again, if you want to, give a little bit more, you're certainly welcome to do that. We won't turn you down, but we don't expect it. We just have that available as an option if you're interested. So I just want to let you know that our next daytime quilting is on February 19th at 11 a.m. Central Time. Our next night owl quilting is 2 weeks from tonight, February 24th at 9 p.m. Did we have any questions?
No question, but somebody suggested using the small Valentine heart that you can buy with the cardboard hearts for a template.
Oh, you can use a template. Any template will work. But I'll tell you what you need to do though. I tested a bunch of shapes. I tried them skinnier, I tried them bigger, and unless this shape worked, some of them will not fold into a heart like this. So you have to be careful. This one will hold a 2x4-inch card. So if you buy, if you're going to buy a template, pay money to buy a template, you want to make sure that it's the same size as what's in here if you want it to fit the 2x4-inch card, because it's not going to fit otherwise. The way this folds up, it folds up exactly in order to make it that size and to put all the little positions, the little Velcros, and to fold it in. So my suggestion would be to just use this template and trace it onto cardstock, or if you have to, have it printed, I would print that before I would buy a template.
505 basting spray is now available as a glue stick.
Oh, 505 basting spray as a glue stick. Great. Yeah.
It was about $6. You can get a fat quarter shabby Amazon.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Thank you. Anything else? Okay, everybody. Again, don't forget to get your pattern, and thumbs up if you like the video, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Love to have you as part of our group. I'll close out. I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you for joining me. Thank you very much for being a part of this group. Happy Valentine's Day. And again, if I could give you these sentiments that I've written on these cards, I would give one to each one of you, because I really appreciate you and all that you do to make my life more joyful and more merry. So thank you. I am always trying to be joyful, but I will always be merry. And thanks for joining me, everybody. We'll talk to you again